Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor for another season in Hong Kong. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show throughout the season we'll take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong, and we'll try to isolate an aspect of the race that we might look back on later as having been a guide to finding the winner. Well, racing on Sunday for the season opener, and the first race I'm going to look at is race number 2, a Class 5, and our winning factor here, the trainer. Now, I think there'll be good arguments made for a number of these runners, including Telecom Missile dropping to Class 5 the first time for Zach Burton, Jimson the Dragon down in the weights, and particularly I think horses like Joe Moreira's mount Fox Chunga, and the first runner for David Hayes on his return to Hong Kong, Money More. And one of the things that I bring up on the opening show each season on the winning factor is this table. You take a look at this, and it's showing all the wins for trainers after the first 145 races of the season. Now, I choose 145 races because that is usually right on 2 months into the new season. And I've highlighted those here with 10 or more wins at that stage. And as you can see, it does tend to be the same trainers every year who bounce out of the gates running. Tony Cruz, for example, terribly consistent in his early season performance. And down at the foot of the table I've included David Hayes, who is unusual for a first season trainer because we do have prior data for him from his previous time here, and he was traditionally a good beginner, and I think he'll continue that and has multiple winning chances here on the first day. The other table I want to show you, and it's with regard to David Hayes, and this shows how many runners the new trainers have had this century before their first win. And you can see in recent years it has become clear that new trainers are sending their runners out wound up, keen to get on the scoreboard, and Hayes has done that all his training life, and I think it's another reason to be looking very closely at his runners on Sunday. And the first of his runners this weekend is Money More. He's a horse who was heavily bet a couple of times towards the end of last season, raced without a lot of luck. And I guess the question now is, how is he going for David Hayes? Well, I think he's going particularly well. And to show you what he's doing, we're going to take a look at his recent barrier trial. Now, this is on August 28th, and you see him behind the speed here towards the outside of the course, predominantly dark green colours. And he's sitting behind the runners. This is about 10 days ago. But you see him coast through at the 200 metres to take the lead at his leisure, before the final stages where his jockey Keith Young sits up and just lets another runner go past him in the final stages, a Class 4 horse, and certainly he had a lot more to give had he been asked. Now, there is a caveat on that trial. The overall time and sectional times were not quick for the day, but as you saw, Money More did that very much under his own steam, going half pace, and I think he certainly could have run much faster times if required. I think the other main danger in the race is Fox Chunga, and he had a fairly quiet recent trial, but we're going to go back to his most recent start to take a look at him. And this is at the end of last season at Happy Valley, race 803, and here you'll see him in the yellow colours. He has every chance here, but finishes a very close second at Happy Valley, and that really makes him the form horse of the race, getting that close to having won, and he's been recently very consistent. And unlike Money More, Fox Chunga has actually won a race last season, so that also helps him, and I think he's going to get a nice run when we take a look now at the map. Now, I think we'll see a similar tempo here. If you think back to last season, the 1200 metre Class 5, we got quite a good speed. Adonis came from near the tail of the field to win, and I think this is going to happen again, going to suit horses hitting the line late. Fantastic Fabio, UW Brother have got good pace, and we've also got Telecom Missile, Jimson the Dragon and E-Generation helping them to run along. Fox Chunga is going to get the first run at them. I think Money More might be a little further back than him, but I do think that run-ons will be able to get into the finish here. So the tip in race 2, Money More. His winning factor, the trainer. If you look across David Hayes' entire career, In Australia, his first runner ever was a winner. His first runner in Hong Kong last time was a winner. His first runner back in Australia was a winner. And I think his first runner in Hong Kong for the second time can be a winner as well. As you see there, he's going particularly well in his trials. The other race I want to take a look at for the opening day at Sha Tin is race 5, and our winning factor here, the tempo. And I think the major chances here stand out on form. The lightly raced Angel of My Eyes for Danny Shum and Zach Burton. Another last start winner, Some Street Somewhere for David Hall and Blake Shin. And right down the bottom, Kelmimi Wins, also a last start winner for John Moore in Class 5, now with the stable of David Ferraris. And the two that dominate the scene here for my way of thinking are Angel of My Eyes and Some Street Somewhere. Now, Some Street Somewhere, he has not barrier trialled coming into his first run for the season, but he did race right up to the tail end of last season. We're going to take a look at his latest run. We're going back to race 815 in July, and this was his second run for David Hall. And you see on the heat map, this was quite a truly run race. Decent splits throughout the race. Blake Shin brings him out a little bit early on the home turn, but the gelding handles that move very well and sustains a strong run down to the line for a win with plenty of authority. And while, as I said, he hasn't trialled, we do see every year horses with form up to the tail end of the previous season do roll over with that form into September normally, so I'm not too concerned about the lack of a trial. However, we have had a trial from Angel of My Eyes, and he's a young horse, a 3-year-old, now turning 4. He's only had 2 starts. He won his most recent at the end of last season, and I think, judging by this barrier trial, he might have come back an improved horse after his summer break. Now, this is on August 26, and in his trial here, you'll see him, he jumps from towards the outside. He shows good gate speed to cross and lead what was a fairly slowly run trial. And you can also keep an eye here on Kelmimi Wins in the yellow with blue and white striped sleeves sitting out wide. But I like that Burton was able to use Angel of My Eyes early, and then the horse relaxed as soon as he found the front, and that was a really good sign from an inexperienced horse. In the run home, well, Zach doesn't lift a finger on this horse. He just sits there still, and the horse keeps on strongly for second. Kelmimi Wins, niggled on a little bit after his wider run and sticks on quite well himself. And I think the attributes that we saw there from Angel of My Eyes, the ability to begin well, take a position and then relax, are going to be quite important in what looms as a tactical kind of a race on Sunday. When we take a look at the map, there doesn't look a whole lot of speed in this 1400 metre event. Now, Smiling Face, he might lead them. He would lead them pretty easily, I think, on his first 2 starts over 1,000 metres last season. But when he stepped up to 1200 metres his third run, he wasn't that quick to begin. And in his recent barrier trial, he missed away quite clearly. So that is a slight concern with him. He may still be the leader. Telecom Rocket races close without being a committed front runner, and even Roman Impero I think we might see push forward from the wide gate in blinkers this time with a light weight. But I think we saw in that trial that Burton can sum up the situation however he likes here. Angel of My Eyes has the speed to go forward, or he can take a trail behind the others and relax either way. For Some Street Somewhere, I think he's going to find a great position from the inside draw, or possibly a box seat run. The concern for me is if the tempo is not true, that he can be a little bit one-paced and he might get out-sprinted, but he still has a great chance in the race. So the tip in race 5, Angel of My Eyes. His winning factor, the tempo. He's a lightly raced horse. He has a bit more upside than Some Street Somewhere in what I feel is pretty much a race in 2. But I think he's also more adaptable in what could be a stop-start kind of a tempo. Well, that's it from me for the winning factor this week. Good luck through the season ahead. We'll see you next time.